At this time, we will take questions. Yes?
Do you have flyers made up with those informational phone numbers that we can hand out to our
I
friends?
do not have flyers. I can get them made up. Are you on Facebook at all?
Yes.
Okay. Are you connected to the Stop Common Core in Connecticut? And then there's also another one called Stop Common Core in Connecticut Library, which is where we keep all of our files. So we will be
I would love to put those under the windshield wipers at the school parking lot.
Yeah, we will be doing flyers, we will be doing everything from now until February 28th.
So people can print them up themselves?
Yes. Yep, we'll create a flyer. Yes.
Okay, I have a question on the opting out. I have opted out, but it went directly, it came up because in our IEP, they had snuck in a phrase, which they're not telling you they're doing, but they sneak in a phrase that says, the name of the child will participate in SBAC. And I said, no, we didn't discuss it. I'm not okay with it. It's not happening. He told me it had to happen. This was in the PPT. I said, no, it's not going to. He asked me why. I explained to him why. He said, well, you understand, and I don't know if anyone else has gotten this, because I haven't seen it in the writings. He said the window is March 16th through June 6th for testing, which means your child will miss an inordinate amount of classroom time, because when Common Core is being done, it will be an hour here, an hour there. It's not an all-day affair like it used to be. So it'll be an hour here, hour there, and you are required to remove your child from the building. He cannot be in the building. Thank you. But any child in the building must be tested. And so he is going to provide for me, from our district, a calendar of the testing dates when it becomes available to him. I do have this in writing. My next step, obviously, is to notify the superintendent and all the teachers that my child will not be taking the SBAC. However, I find this very odd that that was his response. And he was trying to clearly intimidate me with truancy, which is not going to work, but end of story.
70% of your tax dollars pay their salaries. Okay?
We ought to turn this now.
Okay, thank
To answer your question, first of all, never, my favorite phrase is, show me the law.
you. Okay.
So that's
What is your name?
I'm Attorney Deborah Stevenson, and I'm from Southbury, Connecticut. I'm an education attorney, appellate attorney, constitutional law attorney.
Thanks.
The rule of law is important to me. It should be to everyone. So a lot of times, government officials will tell you what they think the law is and what they think they have to do. The first thing you need to ask is, I'll be happy to follow the law. Show me the law that says I have to do it. Okay? And that's what you should be saying, because there's federal IDEA law that applies in your situation, and if they are telling you you have to take a test, and that breaks federal law, in addition to state special ed law. So you are well within your rights, but you need to, if he's saying, oh, it's the law, we have to, they can prove it. Okay?
Is there a difference legally between when they say it's a law and when they say it's a mandate? I'm wondering if it's semantics, because he keeps using the word mandate, and so I'm a little nervous about that challenge.
Legally, the only thing that is enforceable is a statute or an administrative regulation.
Okay.
Those two things are enforceable, whether it's a federal or state statute or administrative regulation. The rest is just policy, it's what we do, it's what I think we have to do, and none of that is enforceable in law. And that's why you need to make improvements. The only other thing that I really want everybody to know is that it's a very simple thing to stop Common Core, in my opinion, looking at it legally. And that is two things. On the federal level, the federal government has no constitutional authority to hand out the money in the first place that is not in their enumerated powers. So the state of Connecticut and any other state could have said no to the federal money. We will not take your unconstitutionally appropriated funds. That's number one. Aside from that, since they didn't say that, now you look at the state statutes. And what does the state statute say? There is a statute that applies to the duties of the State Board of Education. It's called Connecticut General Statute 10-4. I would urge you to look at that, because in that, that's their enumerated power, what can the State Board of Education, the State Department of Education being their arm of the State Board of Education for implementation of this, State Board of Education can develop curriculum guides and assist local school districts. That's it. They cannot compel local school districts to adopt any curriculum whatsoever.
But they
That's
don't call
state
this a
statute.
curriculum.
They do in
call
our
it
district.
standards. They can't compel that either.
They have no authority to compel a local school district to adopt a standard or curriculum. Look at 10-4. There's no authority to compel. Then if you look at the local Board of Education's duties of local boards of education, 10-220, subsection E, and that says, each local and regional board of education shall establish a school district curriculum committee. The committee shall recommend, develop, review, and approve all curriculum, period. It's your local school district's authority to adopt and approve any curriculum for any school.
So the problem lies with the State Board of Education adopted the Common Core under our last commissioner, not this one, prior, not prior. I think his name is. He signed a paper saying that we were going to adopt the Common Core because it made our application for Race to the Top look better. We never received a cent, Connecticut, but the State Department of Ed was the one who adopted the Common Core. But you're saying, if I understand this right, that they can do that, but they can't push it on us or insist that we follow it. But if we go to our local boards of ed, they think they have to follow the Common Core and create curriculum or curricula that follow the Common Core. And you're saying they don't have to do that.
No,
and they can't lose money if they do that.
Well, if the state has entered into a contract, the State Board of Education has entered into a contract with the federal government, as unconstitutional as that was, whatever the terms of that contract in terms of the state getting the funding, if they breach the contract, then they would be subject to,
So if the state made a contract with the Fed saying we will adopt the Common Core, let's just go there, and the State Board of Ed adopts it, I'm just trying to get this, and my local Board of Ed says we don't give a hooty howdy. But the contract with the Fed say if a local board doesn't follow a curriculum that's aligned with the Common Core, then you can't give them any federal money. Is that possible?
Anything is possible, but I would urge you to read about the case called Marbury versus Madison, where a long time ago it was declared an unconstitutional law is null and void. So that contract, that initial contract, was unconstitutional because the federal government didn't have the right to do that. Therefore, the whole contract is null and void. That's not to say that somebody might try to enforce it anyway.
But it is basic contract law. If they were not eligible to enter into the contract by default is null and void.
Right. As the State
Basic
Department-
101.
Look at the statute and see what the authority the State Department of State Board of Education has.
And statute 10-4.
What was that second statute?
The first statute is 10-4, duties of the State Board of Education. The second statute, the local district, is 10-220, subsection E.
And it's Marbury versus Madison.
And the law that's Department of the Constitution is null.
To me, the solution is to have an attorney such as yourself, like an organization, hire you in students, like whoever, to be able to turn this.
That's one option. All I'm saying is that this has to be part of the conversation, because that can be very simple. You have the authority here. Your local school district has the authority to say no, period.
We can bring this statute to the Board of Ed and say, look, this is,
Absolutely, you need to educate everyone. It's important what Dr. Turner was talking about in terms of history is extremely important. They need to know about the Constitution, about the rule of law, and the rule of law matters, and it needs to be enforced. And people have to stand up and say, I want you to pay attention to the Constitution and only do that which you are authorized to do. And if you're not authorized to do it, we don't have to do it either. And if I have the authority in the local district to say no, then your local district can say no.
I'm from New Hartford, and I wanted to let you know our curriculum specialist did a big presentation. Our superintendent is all gung-ho on this. We have already spent, our budget has increased 200% for teacher education, professional development, all that. So we're fighting that from a financial standpoint. We are fighting that from a financial standpoint. But after the curriculum specialist made the presentation about Common Core, we had questions about privacy. She directed me to call Abe Christ, who is the technology director for the state of Connecticut. My first question to him is, what happens with the data? His direct words to me, as God is my witness, good question. The state of Connecticut has not even hired the company to assess the testing. So they do not know the privacy policy of whatever contract they have. That was enough for me. I have children.
One more